I'm going to show you how to do a barbell hip thrust, or just a hip thrust in general. You can do hip thrust with a barbell, you can do it with a dumbbell, but essentially the hip thrust just means you have a box that you're doing off of. A hip bridge is your back's on the ground, so that's going to be the difference between the two. So when you are getting into your position to do a hip thrust, I'm going to show you two different types of hip thrust. There's a normal hip thrust, and then there's like a scooping method. I prefer the normal hip thrust, and I'll explain why. Scooping method is not necessarily bad, but why I don't love it, I'll explain why. So first I'm going to show you the normal hip thrust. So it's where my body is in line and my core and my glutes stay together as I come up and as I come down. Now when you do a hip thrust, you can keep I highly recommend you keep your head forward, and the only reason why I recommend that is because it helps you use your core better. If you have neck problems, you can keep it down. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have a tendency to extend when you do that. So you just have to be really good at tucking your rib cage, keeping your core tight. So you can do both. This isn't bad, but you can do either or. This just helps you use your glutes more. If you have neck issues, prioritize this one. So this is the normal hip thrust. My core stays tight the whole time. My glutes stay engaged the whole time. Everything moves together. Why I love this one is because it teaches you to not disengage your core, right? And it teaches you how to extend your hips and work on hip extension, because a lot of times this is what's going to help get your deadlift stronger. This is going to help get your squat stronger, and it's going to be more functional because we're working on hip extension. So this is the scooping method. When your back arches down here and you pretty much leave your torso here and you're just really using your hips. Again, not bad, but the reason why I don't prefer it is because lots of people are in an anterior pelvic tilt, which is that position right there. And so when you're just doing this, you're pretty much just training your body to do an anterior pelvic tilt multiple times over. And so if that's your issue and you have low back pain because of that, it can make that worse. You can have a tendency to feel that more in your low back because of that. So that's why I prefer this over this. So either one's fine, but this is what I prefer, and that teaches you to use your abs as you're doing this and keeping everything locked in. This is a little bit more functional. This is going to probably bring a little bit more of a low back pump as you're doing that. Now to do it with a barbell, you're going to bring the barbell in close to your hips. You want to make sure your scapula or your shoulder blades, the bottom of your shoulder blades, is against your box that you're on. If you're too high up or you have a high box, you're going to have to like really get up on top of it. So I recommend finding a box or a platform that's going to be a good height for your body. It's not bad if you do it that way. It's just going to be uncomfortable, a little bit more difficult. And the range of motion with your hip thrust is going to be different. So this is optimal. The other way is not bad. You just are going to feel the difference when getting in position. So bottom of the shoulder blades against the box. You pull the weight in as far as you can get it. Then you can pull your legs in as far as you can. So this is going to be the most uncomfortable part. Now you want to take your fingers and you essentially are going to point down. And wherever your finger goes to touch the ground, that's kind of where you want your feet to be. If you go down here and your foot's way out there, you know, okay, it's too far. So I'm going to bring it down to my finger. Same thing. Oh, it's too far. You bring it down to my finger. Now you're in position. Now you're going to hold on to the barbell. You're going to engage your glutes and you're going to engage your abs right here. So what I tell my clients, and it might be interesting of a cue, but it works, is you want to think about holding in a fart or like pulling your butthole up. That's going to engage your pelvic floor, and that's going to engage your deep stabilizing muscles to help you get ready to do this. And then you go big inhale, big exhale, squeeze your abs, come up, hold for a second. So you make sure you get that full lockout. You come down, come up, squeeze and hold, come back down. So lots of people will come right here. This isn't full extension. You have to hit that full extension so everything stays in line and you're fully working those glutes. At the top, think about pulling that butthole up, or I'm trying to hold in that fart to really engage the glutes. And my feet, you can actively think about I'm turning my feet out without actually turning them out. And that's going to make it so you use your glutes even more. And that's how you do a barbell hip thrust.